What's up, everybody? It's Hall of Heroes time again. It feels like only yesterday we had a Hall. No, it was. We did recently have a Hall of Heroes. We had an extra Hall of Heroes. That's why it feels like only yesterday. That's why I was like, Hall of Heroes out of nowhere. Where's Randy Orton? Did he bring us this Hall of Heroes? No, keep it in. We're not bloopering that. Anyway, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, there's a Hall of Heroes. It's the Fire Snipey Boom Boom Boy. So let's talk about where he's going to be. It's this weekend. There we go. Fire Snipey Boom Boom Boy. So, he is an attack type monster. He is... Where is he? Well, we'll talk about it in a second. Let's take a look at his skills. Ignores damage reduction effects. So, good against, like, the Light Lich, stuff like that. I still wouldn't recommend bringing him into teams like that. This is just, like, an added bonus kind of thing. But, hidden aim. This is the pose. He goes in this pose, and then he does super extra damage when he shoots things in this pose. Then we have the Deadeye passive. Decreases a random target's defense. So he's a big fire DPS unit, right? There's other big fire DPS units. But let's talk about this. Deadeye passive is what makes him unique. So let's talk about where he could be useful based on this Deadeye passive. Decreases a random target's defense for 1 turn at the start of each turn. Random target defense. Well, we could use that to our advantage when we're going into things like Rift Beasts, where it's only 1 target, so it's not going to be random, right? And then we could also use it for, like, he doesn't have multi-hits for Necropolis, so no. He's a fire unit, squishy fire unit. We're not going to bring him in Dragons. Giants. Dragons, there's better stuff for Dragons as well. TOA. It's a random target. Bad unit for TOA. So not any of those. But Rift Beasts, since it's going to be, it's a guaranteed, it's a defense break, right? Defense break to a random enemy. It's always going to be a defense break on the Rift Beast, because that's the only enemy that you're fighting against. So there's that. Plus big damage is Rift Beast, you want to do big damage, right? Another place that we think about random target defense is for, I mean, you're not going to use an RTA because you want to focus on a certain unit. You're like, I need to focus on this unit. Plus, he doesn't have strip. A lot of times you need strips for RTA. When we think about random defense break, we think about who else does that. Orion does that. So where is Orion good? Arena defense and Guild War defense. Unfortunately, he doesn't do any attack gauge boost, so it's less useful than those, but he is a fire threat. So, if you have another attack gauge boost, you have the fire threat and the random targeting taken care of. It's nice to have a random target because if, for example, on Guild War defense and on Arena defense, if you have this is just going to strip and defense break, and it's a water unit, then it's going to always strip and defense break the fire unit. I'm just giving an example, but it's going to always strip and defense of the fire unit. So you can just bring a tanky fire damage dealer, or a tanky fire unit. Tanky fire unit, and there you go. You don't have to worry about the rest of your team getting targeted. So on defense, it's nice to have some kind of element of randomness. You do still need to strip, though, but I have seen him used a little bit in Guild Siege defense to some success in a decent Guild Siege defense to decent level. Not anything, not like G3 Guild Siege defense, but it was, I think it might have been like G1, G2 level. So I'm trying to remember whose exactly it was, but I think it was a decent player too. And they were just using Carcano. I think they just had amazing runes on him, and he was like tanky, and he also had he was tanky and he was fast, and he had decent amount of damage as well. And it was just like, if you put those runes on anything, it's going to be a good kind of situation. But he was somewhat useful. It was like Gogol Triana Carcano, I think. So anyway, I'm trying to remember exactly what the defense was. But yeah, I've seen him used in that situation. I'm not sure how viable it is overall, but I have seen him used there, and apparently it wasn't as bad as you would think. And for the most part, Rift Beast, especially the Wind one, right? So he's a fire DPS for Wind Rift Beast. Mine is usable in there. He's lacking so much damage from this, because this is the only skill that actually does damage. This just puts him in that pose. Reasonable in 6 turns down to 3 is a big difference, right? Because it's basically, it's only going to happen like once per match, maybe twice, if it's not skilled up. 6 turns is crazy. But 3 turns is pretty nice. It's a huge difference. With this cooldown turns, 3, huge difference. And then this is the only thing, so the damage really does matter on here. Like, I know a lot of things like Annabelle, first skill doing extra damage, who cares? That's not what you don't use Annabelle for DPS, right? You don't use Annabelle for DPS. But this Accurate Fire Breathing, he's a DPS unit. This is his only damage dealing skill because this is just puts him in a stance, and this is just a passive. So the damage on here really is going to matter. End of the day, though, we'll show him in some stuff because I have him ruined up and everything. But end of the day, do you build him if you're like mid game? If you're like early to mid game, you're looking for different things. I feel like there's just better stuff for if you have him in the water one. Just do the water one. It's just gonna be much better for you. He's got a strip. He's got ignore defense. You don't need a defense break when you have ignore defense, right? So you don't even have to. That's like taking one step out of the equation. If you have a bunch of other stuff and you're like, I need a fire DPS for Wind Rift Beasts, maybe you could take a look at him. But honestly, I think for most people, it's just going to be more productive building the water one. Keep this fire one. If you're not going to build him, keep the fire one in storage, at least one, right? Because you don't want to feed every single monster. You're like, oh, why did I feed that? I hear this all the time. You guys do this all the time. You're like, there's a holiday here just comes out, and then you're like, I fed all of this to that other thing, and then there's a balance patch, and then it's like, oh, this thing's OP now. It's like, why did I feed him? The people that fed Ajir. Ajir wasn't good. Fire Lich, I didn't know he was gonna be good. A Gemini, I didn't know he was good. Like, why do you feed all this stuff? I don't know why you feed all this stuff. Anyway, let's take a look at him in some action. But yeah, that's basically the too long didn't read. The water one is the one that for most people you're gonna get the most out of building him and out of the effort into. You're gonna get the most return for your investment. We'll take him into some scenario. We'll see a damage test. He does good damage, but just because a monster does good damage does not make them the most useful monster in the game. So we have attack buff. He's going to put himself in stance. The only reason I'm bringing Chloe and like the other stuff is, there we go. It's because they have some fight runes, right? So we can see some fight runes too. He's got a defense break. I don't want to see the defense break, man. Don't do that. Let's do this. And then we'll do, oh, we didn't see a brand. I mean, we did see a brand, but I don't know. So we got a defense break. Attack buff, defense break, because he does his own defense break, right? So attack buff, defense break, accurate fire. This is not even skill, but this is going to be so much more damage. How much damage can it do? 116. We saw that. I remember when he first came out. We're like, oh my goodness, it does a lot of damage. That's not even his max damage. His max damage could be like 150,000 damage. Like, seriously, his max damage could be like 150,000 damage. And we're not even talking Rift Beast, where he's going to do more damage as well. But, yeah, he does quite a lot of damage. With his being in state. So, he does do a lot of damage, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's, like, the best monster in the game. Crow does a lot of damage, too. So, well, Crow's a really good monster, though. I'm just saying. He does a lot of damage. Just casually, he's just hanging out there. He's like, I'm just gonna kneel down, shoot this guy for 100,000 damage. Nothing but a thing. Okay, I wanted to squeeze out a little bit more damage from him, so I put him on slightly better runes. And we have Kabezanoof in here. Not that he needs the crit buff, but he's got a crit buff for whatever reason. So let's it's kind of redundant, isn't it? Okay, let's go. Doesn't matter. We're gonna kill you with that. Yeah. Okay. So we put him in state. In his passive state. We should do less damage to. There we go. No, don't kill anything. I don't want you to kill anything. Listen, I don't want you to kill anything. There we go. Okay. Put it in one, and we'll see extra damage. 130, that's only one skill up. 138,000 damage. He does a lot of damage. Though. Okay, let's test him out somewhere else. One of the many reasons I don't do Guild Wars on my main is I can't, like, how is this this is not content. Let's see if I think there was an Eladriel somewhere. Yeah, Eladriel. Okay. Let's take him in against Eladriel. Let's see. Where is he? We'll do this. Okay. I mean, I would love to see, but we'll see how much damage he does in a setting of. Let's put Fran in here. I wish we had an actual guild. I wish I had an actual guild war to show you though. So let's put friend and this guy, and we'll. No, Franco, no, no. That last battle was gonna not ever end. So let's do this. We really do too. Oh, see, now that's all the fluff damage that we need. Let's see how much damage he's gonna actually do to an Eladriel that I assume is ruined. I have no idea. I assume it's ruined. Okay, there we go. That's some Eladriel damage. Let's see him in Rift Beast. Wind Rift Beast. Now here, we're gonna take him in here. Oh, why don't you just pick some more Nat 5 OP monsters and bring him in with? That's just what I happen to be using for my Wind Rift Beast. So we'll take him in here and we'll see what he can. The big thing, he's gonna do so much more damage. He actually might not be bad Vampire Revenge, to be honest. He's gonna do so much more damage with his skill 2 being in 3-turn cooldown instead of 6-turn cooldown. So let's see what he does. And we got these, and as soon as he gets a turn, he defense broke. So just passively before he even shot, which is nice. If he does defense break after he shoots, then it's pointless, right? So he's tell me how you really feel, Brandy. I think Brandy is even a hybrid. I don't think Brandy is even on is she a hybrid? I don't know. Which Brandy is hybrid? I have a Brandy on another account too. Maybe that one's the hybrid one. I don't know. I think Brandy might be on Vampire. Hybrid Vampire. Vamp Hybrid Fire. Something like that. Oh, they changed Rift Beasts too. They changed Rift Beasts since the last patch. I forgot about that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I have Jameer in here because I used to have with the Fire Homunculus. So that's why I have Jameer in there. He does better in that situation. So, did okay. 4.8 million. Not anything insane, but we don't need that crap. We don't need that crap. But yeah, that's what he could do. He would do even better though. The fire. He would do even better when he's maxed on first and second skills. Because this is one of the places he shines. And he's not even shining as much as he could be shining. You know what I mean? But this is the place that I would build him. I wouldn't really say that he's like a priority to build as a monster overall, for overall account, for being usable in so many different places. But for something like this, and maybe for Guild Siege defense, you just need really, really good runes though. That's the thing. You need, and a lot of people don't have the really good runes. I'm just trying to be honest with you. Like, I don't know if he's going to be very successful in Guild Siege defense for most people watching this. But for offense, he can be fun. He's got a defense break. He's got big damage. So with even not as good runes, or maybe even on a hybrid, he might be still usable because he's going to do so much damage that even with less damage, he'll still be good. But I still think the Covenant is the best. I still think if you're going to invest in anything, invest in Covenant and just keep one of these guys in storage just in case you want to build one day. So I don't regret building mine, but I still like my Covenant better. So anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you as always in the next one.